that was a top point I wanted to go on there, is about the vulnerable side. Like being on Zoom now, a lot of us have got to see into other people's houses. I know my wife, she works, and our little boy is always on the meetings now. So the whole of our work gets to see that side. So the boundaries between work and life is kind of blended. I am going to touch on boundaries, but I wanted to touch first on the responsibilities that we have at home. You know, family life, work, teaching the kids. How are you, both of you, managing that in a shared way with your partners? I don't know who wants to go first, Sherry or Sherry?
You know, my life is pretty simple. It's my husband and two cats who enjoy Zoom. I call them my executive assistants. So they are liable to come in pretending to be helpful at any point in time. You know, I in my coaching work with executives, I am often telling them to set boundaries in every way that you possibly can to put more separation between the work and the rest of life. And not that we don't want those sweet interruptions of the children, because that's reality. We want to be fully present to that, but making sure that there is space for the transition. Right? I'm ending my day. I'm getting up from this space and I'm joining, you know, my family life, the rest of what is going on. I was starting to see an increasing level of difficulty, and people were burdening themselves and they were reducing their energy stores because the blur was just too big. There just wasn't a getting away from work for them.
Interesting. I think on just following up what you've just said, we've structured our days pretty well. My wife's very well organized. She used to be a PA to CEOs, family offices, and very large groups. Before we had kids, so she's so well organized, and I can see that come into our way of life now that we've got kids. Very well structured. That's breakfast, right? Boom, right? We've got to do this, we've got to do that. But that's been fantastic. The kids are on a routine, and so I normally come in, and I know we're a bit at home, but that 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 p.m. time is when I come into it. And I can gladly say whatever I'm trying to do, I make a big, huge effort to say, right, no more meetings, no more Zoom calls, at least for those 3 hours. Everything can be done beforehand. And I've been picking up the kids and taking them to school. So that's been fantastic. And, at 4, 5 p.m., I take them swimming. We go to the park. We go cycling, one or the other. And it's fantastic, that bond as well. Sometimes my wife would come, sometimes she wouldn't, but that's fine. And then there's dinner. As soon as you come back, it's 6 o'clock. It's dinner time, right? Supper, dinner, tea time. We religiously will have that. And then basically 7 o'clock, they'll chill before going to bed, right? At about 7:30. And that's when, whatever I need to recap on my work, I can do. And then, if not, we'll catch up at about 8:30. My wife and I will probably watch something on Netflix or something. And that time together is so important. So we've become, it's ironic, we haven't seen any television together for about 3 years before we've had the twins on an ongoing basis till this meltdown, till the lockdown now. And because of the routine, we realized, wow, we're spending more time together. And we actually watch like seasons packed on Netflix, just watching 1 hour each every night. And that's been fantastic, right? So structure's important. The kids know it. And it's become even better now with the school starting again over the last sort of 2 weeks. So yeah, you talk about boundaries, and that is really what structure is all about.
Yeah.
So.
And, the other thing that I hear from you, Mo, is fluidity. And that's kind of my theme. I've got it on this little post-it. Fluidity. Because you've got the boundaries, you have the moments with family that bring that sweetness. And I have this felt sense of fluidity and how you're moving through your day, work time, family time, multiple time zones.
I totally agree with that.
Each bit of fluidity has its own start and stop. Like this is tea time, and it is its own almost sacred thing. The family time is its own sacred thing, right? I
I,
love
lo-
that.
I love that answer, and I totally agree with the fluidity. I mean, it's weird, like since COVID has hit and we're now at home, having the structure where you say, okay, this is family time, this is work, is really good. But also having the fluidity to say, because I've got a 10-month-old, so he has his own schedule. So we kind of say, okay, we can't work now, we'll do this, and then we'll come back and do that. And also, as you just said, since moving to the US, the time zones, because I'm finding I'm connecting with friends in UK, connecting with friends in Dubai, just being able to be fluid and flexible in this period has really helped. But having that structure to know that when is it family time and when is it work, because I think all of us on here have our own business, so we have a bit more flexibility. But I'm finding with friends who are working, it's not so easy, especially those still in the corporate side. It's like what Mo said, is that Zoom all of a sudden has opened up the window for you can have meetings anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of working the 9 to 6 or 7, we're taking calls at 8, 9 o'clock. So it's not been so easy for everyone, I think, maintaining that boundary. And I think you have found this, Sherry, from the leadership coaching that you're giving, that some people still want to work to those high targets and expectations they set themselves, forgetting that they're now teachers as well as.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And particularly with executives who have as their care and concern a base of employees as well. And there's a layer of fear and uncertainty that we are living in right now.
Totally agree.
Right? And we have to remember for ourselves and for those that we are supporting and working with, that that's real for them as well, right? It's a different set of parameters and criteria.
Yeah. No, sorry. I thought music was coming from your side.
Sorry, it's in the back.
Oh, okay. We'll work with the music. Sounds like a good song, though. Whatever it is.
Very Nora Jones-ish.
Yeah. Sorry, Sherry. You were saying about the boundaries. Knowing the fear and the uncertainty is very real, because say in the UK, I know all my friends where whole industries have just been decimated. Like this, the entertainment industry has disappeared, and people don't know where their next job is coming from. And I find the people who have got jobs now they're just being driven by fear. They have to just keep doing everything possible so they don't lose their job. And it's sad to say, because I just got off the phone with a friend who's a psychologist. A lot of people are having breakdowns now because you're still trying to hit those targets, and you now have so many other responsibilities at home that you just didn't take that into account, and you were still trying to operate in the old mindset. Oh, sorry. Sure.
Go ahead.
No, you go. I was gonna go on to something else if you wanted to answer.
No, it's real. It's so deeply real. And I saw a cycle with clients. In the early days, it was hair on fire. What is this? How are we going to manage? Like balancing the multitude of decisions that had to be made, and just holding deep concern for their employees. Coming out of that a little bit and able to be more creative and see that things are okay, and that there is a high degree of productivity in this work from home sort of environment. And I think the through line of wellness that really concerns me is that I don't know that collectively we always have the capacity to allow ourselves to not be okay. To just have these moments where we go, you know what? I'm not okay. This is really stressful. I'm holding a lot of concern for others, let alone providing and protecting for myself and my family. And I'm not okay right now.
I love that point you just touched on. I'm sorry, Ma, I'm going to come to you next on this point. I found that a lot of people in the first 3 months, they were like holding their breath and just get through this. Yeah, I'm getting through this. And then the last 3 months, they're like, oh my God, I can't keep holding my breath. How long is this going to go on for? Yeah. And people were not okay with saying, this is crap, I'm really struggling, and
Yeah.
raising their hands up.